All right, guys, we are back with another video with a brand new studio setup. I'm very excited about this. So without further ado, this is a new video series called Ask Brick. Basically, you guys can leave a comment down below. Ask me anything you guys want. You can ask me about LEGO sets. You can ask me about BrickTactical. You can ask me about anything LEGO related, and I will do my best to answer it and give my opinion, my take on it. I think this will be very fun. You guys can ask me very specific questions about LEGO sets, upcoming LEGO sets, and we can dive deep into all sorts of cool stuff. So without further ado, let's start off with the first question. And the first question today comes from General J Bricks. He says, please make more World War II MOCs like you used to because they were great. Now, this is a great question. I know this is more of a statement, but basically I used to make these giant MOCs. I made everything from the World War I Sinai Desert. I made D-Day. I made Battle of the Bulge. I did a Vietnam MOC. I did so much stuff. Let's see, what else did I do? Battle of Peleliu. We did Battlefield 4 MOCs. We did all sorts of stuff. Battle of Moscow was actually the first MOC, I think in 2015. I'll be throwing clips on this on the screen right here. But the main reason why I haven't done a MOC in so long is two main reasons. One, I'm so busy with BrickTactical. Obviously, my business takes up a lot of my time. It's absolutely ridiculous how much time I spend with my business. And the problem is these MOCs take so much of my time that I just don't really have anymore. You know, 5-6 years ago, my business was not as big as it is now, so I had more time to spend on MOCs. But hopefully in the future, I can change this. I would love to continue to be able to build MOCs. And now that I've kind of rearranged my office up here, I do have the space. So that used to be one of the issues too, as I didn't have the space. But now I have the space. It's just the time thing. I also have a lot of pieces, and it's not really an issue of buying parts. I can always buy more parts, but it's really just finding the time to do it. But I will say, feel free to drop your comments down below what MOC you would like me to do next, because I would like to see that anyways in the comments below. So next one comes from Michael Page 3153. He says, when's the next drop? Now, depending on when you're seeing this, I just did a drop. I believe it was February 3rd, and I dropped over 200 new products. We had anything from new printed torsos, legs, heads, molded accessories, lightsaber hilts, weapons, all sorts of craziness. We also had some different custom printed minifigures. We had like Luminara, Unduly. We had a Stud Preem limited edition Mando. We had some Breaking Bad figures. What else did we have? I'm just thinking off the top of my head. We had new camo rigs and bodies, new zombie parts, all this stuff you guys can see on my Instagram and my website, BrickTactical. But we did just do a drop. So depending on when you're seeing this, the next drop will probably be at the beginning of March. And then we also have BrickTactical Day coming up in April. So more on that later. But that is the answer of when's the next drop. And then we have another good question. I love this one. So Sean J asks, are you bringing back the Battlefield 4 minifigures? Now, let me grab something real quick. So if you guys are new to the channel, you guys might not know that around 2015, 2016, I made the full crew of Battlefield 4 Russians and American classes. I absolutely love Battlefield 4. So what I did was I made all the Russians and all the Americans, and then a few of the campaign players actually at the time. So we have everything from the Russian support, engineer, the Russian recon was by far the most popular, and then the Russian assault. This is just a cool product render that I had framed that I actually keep up on my shelf. I just think this is really cool. But the question being, am I going to be making more of them in the future? And the answer is yes. I do want to completely redesign them, revamp them. I actually just brought back the Russian Recon. I'll put a picture of that on the screen here. That you can actually get on the website. But I want to bring back the Americans. And then I also didn't do the Chinese squad. I never did that. So I want to bring that back and do those as well. So the answer is yes. I'm actually probably going to be sending those designs out relatively soon to get my designer to approve them and do everything he needs to do, and then we'll start printing them. So my guess, you might see that the next release or BrickTactical Day in April. All right, the next question comes from Jericho399. Is there something you want to make but currently isn't possible? This is a really good question. These are the questions that I love. So there's really nothing that I can think of that's in like my idea list of something that I can make as a product for, you know, that's Lego related that isn't possible. There's a lot of things that I can do that are just very expensive, and I would say that's probably the main hurdle. For example, there's a lot of different armor and stuff like that that I'd love to make, but it's just extremely expensive. And I want to do a video talking about that because everybody always asks for new helmets, new chest pieces, stuff like that, but I always kind of give the blow-off answer of it's just too expensive versus just little weapons and, you know, smaller items like that. But there's a lot of good value in me doing a video explaining why that is. And so I'd like to do that in the future. So I would say a lot of different armor. I would say the one thing that's like my dream bucket list item is to do the full Lego Noble team in like full bodysuit armor, removable visors, kind of like my Mark V armor, and do the full Noble team and then get them printed and everything. And I think that would be awesome. Injection molded Noble team armor. That's probably on my bucket list of things that I've always wanted to do. So that's not really impossible. It's just very expensive, but I kind of want to do it this year. So that's kind of one of my goals to myself. The next question comes from Gladiator Henry. He says, what's the best way to help contribute to your work? I love your channel and I've been constantly watching you make awesome Lego accessories and would love to help any way I can. Great question. So the best way is honestly just watching my videos is awesome. It's obviously free to you guys. Leaving a like, subscribing, all that stuff helps me out a bunch, grow the YouTube channel. And then of course, I would say the next step is just check out my website, BrickTactical.com. If you guys like, Lego and minifigures and stuff like that, I offer a bunch of different, we take genuine Lego parts, custom print on them, and then we make molded accessories for those minifigures. So it's all genuine Lego that we custom print, and then we make custom molded accessories. They're all injection molded right here in my garage in Washington State. It's all made in the USA. I'm very proud of that. So that's probably the second best way to support me is first, watch videos. Second, just go ahead, check out the website. If you guys want something, it's great. There's a lot of stuff. I know a lot of people reach out to me and they are using my website as like gifts. Like they might know someone that likes Breaking Bad, for example, but they maybe not be a Lego fan, but I make Lego Breaking Bad stuff. So they kind of introduce the hobby that way. So next question comes from Tiny Tiger Studios. He says, I know in one of your recent live streams you said there might be more build kits coming soon. What do you think the prices will be? So this is actually a really good question because I have, let's see, 4 or 5 kits that are coming out, I would say in the next month or two. And my goal with these kits is to make them, actually, here's a good example. I have my Abrams tank and my Shinhodo. I think it's the Type 97 Shinhodo tank. So both of these are my kits. This was designed by my buddy Elliot, but he gave me the rights to make them if I want to. And then this, I paid a designer to design this cool Abrams tank from Battlefield 4. But basically with kits, I want to be the affordable option. There's a few other companies that sell military-related kits, but they're extremely expensive, and I want people that are younger, kids and teenagers, to be able to afford these cool kits, and it's totally possible. And so that's kind of my goal with these 4 or 5 kits that are coming out is I would say the smaller kits like Jeeps and whatnot are going to be anywhere from $25 to $40, and then most of the tanks that I'm coming out with, I'm trying to keep around the $100 mark. Now, it is hard because Lego parts are just straight up expensive. Certain pieces can be anywhere from 25 to 50 cents each, depending on the color. So it does get expensive. But once again, I'm trying to be that affordable option. I don't want to be the cheap option and suffer on quality, but I want to be affordable. And so obviously, I'm going to be using all real Lego parts. I'll probably throw in some of my custom minifigure accessories like the M2 machine gun, stuff like that to enhance the kits. But once again, it's all Lego. Then I'm just providing you all the pieces in one spot with the instructions. So that's kind of my goal, and that's kind of the answer of prices as well. All right, so the next question comes from Anderson. He says, will you be making more Call of Duty zombie weapons and equipment like the Monkey Bombs, Blundergat, AN-94, Galil, the Peacekeeper, and the Wunderwaffen, etc.? So some of these I've actually already made. So the Galil I've already made. That's on my website. And then the AN-94 just came out with that release that I was talking about, so that's done. And then the Monkey Bombs and some of the different Wonder Weapons, that's something that we're actually working on, and I plan to release those probably for BrickTactical Day. So everyone's been asking ever since I started doing the perk machines, doing some of the Call of Duty minifigures. I've done almost all of the Call of Duty zombie crews. I think I've done all of them. I'm not sure, but you can see on the screen I'm showing off quite a few of them. So you'll have to leave some comments down below if there's other zombie crew, specifically zombie crew characters that I should do, but I also want to do more of just generic Call of Duty campaign figures. But obviously some of these are very iconic, so you got to do the Wonder Weapons, and so that's something we are working on. So, and this goes into the next question. So Sir Beast Gruwick asks, will you expand on the Call of Duty minifigures? So yeah, like I said, if there's any other zombie stuff, definitely want to do that because at this point, I'm just dedicated to making everything zombies related. The mystery box is also something that I'm working on, so I'm very excited to announce more about that soon. But as far as campaign players, there's so many CODs at this point. Feel free to drop some comments on specific characters you guys would like to see. I know I want to do like Roach from the original Modern Warfare 2, and then like Riley the dog or stuff like that. I think would be really cool and different. But the problem is a lot of them are very generic, and they all kind of look the same at the end of the day. I mean, I've done so many Ghost variants that it's just different color schemes, different masks, but they all come with relatively the same look, pouches, weapons. So it's kind of hard to make different characters, but I'll keep doing it as long as you guys keep buying it. So that's kind of the position that I'm in. Next one comes from Paramime. Let's see, Paramime Productions. What is your favorite genre of customs you've made? Is it Star Wars, Halo, COD, Fallout, etc.? This is a really good question because I get asked this a lot, and I'm looking behind the camera right now at my wall of all the different minifigures and some of the products that I've made. And I would say I'm a huge Battlefield 4 fan specifically, so I loved the original, like I talked about earlier, all the different Russians and Americans that I made. But I would say lately I'm really into, honestly, the zombie stuff's really, deep to my heart because I used to play the heck out of zombies. I'm liking that I'm doing more Star Wars stuff because, as you guys know, if you guys are hardcore fans, you know that I used to be a huge Star Wars channel, obviously. And so that's cool. But then again, Fallout's something that I never was really into until I started looking into it more. And man, is that a cool like franchise and like game. So it's really hard. And then you got Halo, which I absolutely love. Halo Reach, like I talked about the Noble Team. So I don't know. If I had to pick one right now, I'm going to probably go with Halo, honestly. So yeah, I'm going to go with Halo. So that's the answer, but I like all of them, of course. So let's see here. What do we got next? So speaking of Halo, Liam asks, will you receive I think he means restock or will you make a mountable turret for the Halo figures to attach to the Warthogs and the like soon? So am I making a mountable Warthog machine gun? The answer is yes, and it's probably coming out BrickTactical Day. I know I keep teasing this, but BrickTactical Day is like my big event for the beginning of the year. It's in April. We did the first one last year, and the second one will be this year in April. So a lot of the bigger ticket items like that, I'm going to save for that day. So all I'm saying is mark your calendar for mid to late April on the weekend sometime. I will announce as we get sooner, but there will be a lot of cool stuff, and this is one of them. So I'll just leave it at that. What do we got next? We have one from Carson. He said, would you ever make any more zombie figures, like an example, Left 4 Dead, Dying Light, or Resident Evil? Would you ever make an old Western Lego minifigure, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, Red Dead Redemption, or Call of the Juarez? I don't know what Call of the Juarez is. I might be butchering that. But Left 4 Dead, Dying Light, Resident Evil, I don't see any reason why not. I've never played any of those games personally, so I'd have to look into it. I definitely have heard more about Left 4 Dead than the other two. I know Dying Light's pretty popular on Twitch. Old Western minifigures, yes. So I started making a few Western items. I did the lever action, which was the main start of it. I'll throw a picture on the screen. So that really got me into the Western genre, if you will. So I really want to do more about that. And then Red Dead would be pretty cool as well. So yeah, I'm totally open to it is the short answer. So next question comes from user so-and-so. If you made elites and grunts and brutes, why not flood? So to be fair, I did make the brute minifigure. I didn't really make any like armor or anything. So I guess I did make the brute, but I really made the elites and grunts. Technically the brute, whatever. Why not flood? Flood's an interesting one because they're very weird looking and kind of complicated. So I definitely think I need to tackle the problem at hand. Is first of all, you got to think no one had done elites or grunts at the time. And then a lot of the Halo weapons I make, nobody makes them for Lego specifically. Obviously, Mega Bloks has their own license deal with Halo, but it's not specifically designed for minifigures, Lego minifigures. And so a lot of the weapons and accessories that I make, nobody makes. So I really like that. That's part of the reason why I said Halo is my favorite genre lately, is because I feel like I've very much like dominated that market in the custom Lego world, especially with the elites and grunts. So I feel like I have to do something with the flood. So that's something I want to think about. And then also it'd be cool to do something with like hunters, like a big molded part. I don't know. That's the issue, is you can do all of this. It just gets expensive very quickly. And then I gotta break even or make some money off of it at the end of the day. So that's I would say the main issue. Speaking of Halo, I swear these questions aren't in order, which is what's funny. So Prixplox, nice name, he says ODST helmets, when? First of all, I love how direct that question was. ODST helmets, that's another thing that I want to tackle. I started doing ODST bodies, just printed bodies, but I obviously don't have any helmets or armor to go with them. So that needs to be fixed. That's another thing that I want to solve along with my molded Noble Team armor set. So I would say maybe Black Friday of this year, that could be a goal. Maybe I'm going to throw this out here. You guys can hold me to this in Instagram and YouTube comments, is Noble Team and ODST's molded armor by Black Friday 2024. I said it here first. I'm going to make that a goal. And my ODSTs are going to have removable visors, unlike others. So I'm very excited about that. That's kind of my goal. I think it's very doable. I just got some new equipment that will allow me to do some of this stuff a little more affordable, and it'll still be injection molded and the high quality that you guys come to expect with my product. So very excited about that one. So great question. All right, next one comes from something Cat. I'm just going to call you Cat1570. He's got a two-part question here. Do you have a good place to keep up where you'll be IRL with your collection, like conventions and such? So I don't really have a blog or anything where I talk about this. It's pretty much on Instagram and YouTube. I'll mention when a convention's coming up. For example, I can tell you right now, I'll be at Brick Cascade in Portland this March, I think it is. And then normally the other ones that I go to is Brick Fair, Virginia. That's normally in August. Then Brick World Chicago, that's in June. And then BrickCon, which is in Seattle here. Or it's actually in Bellevue now, but Washington State, and that's normally in September timeframe. So those are normally the 4 conventions that I hit every year. Sometimes I can't make it to one, but normally the past few years I've pretty much hit all 4 of those pretty consistently. Then the second part of his question is any way to get a sneak peek of what you are cooking. So I hope he means product-wise, because otherwise I'm not sharing what I'm physically cooking, food-wise. But you can join our Discord. So BrickTactical has a Discord. I'll put a link in the description, and I post all sorts of little sneak peeks and leaks there. It's a cool community. I think we have almost 850 people in there, so it's a pretty cool community. I talk about upcoming projects. I get feedback from you guys. It's a lot easier than posting on Instagram or YouTube, for example. If I just have a quick question, I can ask you guys pretty quickly. So that's probably the best way to keep up with me on a really deep level, if you will. Next question comes from 711 Pizza Slice, or 7-Eleven Pizza Slice. There you go. Love that name. Will you make more Half-Life figs and weapons? I'd love to see Combine Soldiers or a HEQ and an AR2 or MP7. I don't know what those last two are. I know what an MP7 is, obviously, but Combine Soldiers. So ironically, the Combine Soldier or my Prop Hunter, I'll throw a picture on screen here. This is the first printed minifigure I ever did. I think this was in 2013 or 2014, something like that. And I'm actually revamping this design and I'm bringing it back. So that'll be coming out probably in the next release. And he'll be featuring a brand new MP7 molded part by BrickTactical. So you heard it here first. New minifigure and new molded part. That's going to be a sweet minifigure. Can't wait to bring that back. Very nostalgic. I still have my original Prop Hunter. And if you guys have one, let me know. Post about it. I want to see it. Another Half-Life figure we did is the Gordon Freeman, or I call him the Theoretical Enthusiast, obviously because of copyright. But that's another classic. I actually did revamp that one and reprinted that. So we've got those two, but I definitely want to do more. So stay tuned for that. I've got a few more coming out soon. So actually, now that I think about it, there is another one that's coming out with that Combine Soldier. So stay tuned for that. So the answer is yes. Next one, Riley Fabian 2922. Have you considered making the Fallout power armor with armor accessories? So yes, the answer is yes. This goes back to what I talked about earlier with making armor, helmets, stuff like that. It's very expensive because the injection molds are very complicated and they take more time to make. And with a lot of this stuff, you pay by the hour. So if a simple, I'm just going to use random numbers. Let's say a blaster mold takes 10 hours to make and you pay someone $200 an hour. That's not too bad. But when you have something that takes 40 hours to make, a complicated injection mold at that same $200 an hour, it gets very expensive. So that's something to consider when we're talking about armor. But yes, I would like to do it. All right, next question comes from Ben's Bricks. How do you decide as a company what specific products are wanted in the market, such as what specific clone guns, hilts, etc.? Great question, first of all. So, a lot of what I do comes from my head, obviously. All of these products are my ideas, and I have to figure out how to make them. And obviously, at the end of the day, it is a business. I do have to make money. I do have employees now that I have to pay. And so, it is interesting because things do change. I would say what's fun about what I do is 95% of the products you guys see on my website, they're all just things that I think are cool. So, or if they're a video game, movie reference, something like that, it's all stuff that I like. So, very few products of mine I don't like, which is a key thing because I've got to stay passionate about this. I got to enjoy what I do. And so that's why I make the Battlefield stuff. That's why I make the Call of Duty zombie stuff. That's why I make the Halo stuff, is because I love this stuff. I used to play these games for hours and hours, hundreds of hours. And so I have a serious attachment to them, and with that attachment, I can make really good versions of them. You know, if I didn't know anything about Call of Duty Zombies, how could I make a really cool Lego Pack-a-Punch or Juggernog machine? I couldn't, because you can look at reference pictures all day long, but until you actually play the game and understand it, it hits differently. So I've been lucky that my taste also appeals to a wide audience. That's really the biggest thing. And then at the end of the day, it's also, I've been a fan of this stuff forever, custom Lego and Lego in general. So I like to, make what I don't see anyone else doing. So if it kind of aligns with those things, it meshes really well, it's a no-brainer for me. So that's kind of how I decide things. It's not really like, oh, how can we make the most money? It's kind of just like, hey, that looks really cool. I want to make that. Let's see if it sells. And sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So that's kind of how I operate, ideas and whatnot. So last question comes from Nevin McLean. He says, what actually got you into Lego military collecting and building? Furthermore, starting a business around that. That's a really good question, too. Some of these questions are really good, by the way, so thank you guys for this. So what actually got you into Lego military collecting and building? So I'll start with that. So I love history. I've talked about this in a few separate videos. I absolutely love World War II history specifically. That got me into building historical Lego stuff. So I always had Lego, huge Star Wars guy. That's what got me into Lego, was Lego Star Wars. And then being older, when I was maybe 12, 13, understanding World War II history, I absolutely fell in love with that. So naturally, I wanted to make MOCs and displays and battles, but a lot of this stuff didn't exist. And so that's kind of where that started. And it kind of went, you can actually go back in my channel. I have over like 1,600 videos. You can go back, and there was a clear distinction point when I was just Lego Star Wars and I started to pivot towards more military, and I kind of started to phase out the Star Wars stuff. So it's actually interesting. I encourage some of you guys to go back and look at that. But that's kind of what got me into the whole military thing. And then obviously I've just always been a history guy and a Star Wars guy. So I'd say those two are pretty tight. And then let's see, starting a business around that. So yeah, like I said, a lot of this stuff didn't exist. The two minifigures I started with were the Modern Combat Soldier and the Desert Assassin. I believe I made 10 or 20 of each, and then I started selling them. I was posting about it on YouTube that I had a website. I will try to put a screenshot on the screen here of what my original website looked like. I don't know if there's like archive of this, and it might not be the oldest one because I've had a few different websites, but the one I'm thinking of, and if you guys remember, it had like a camo background. It was horrendous, but I was selling those minifigures on it. So that's kind of how I got into this, and then it just kind of snowballed into me doing custom painting, decaling at the time, and then I got into printing, and then injection molding in 2013 with the Minecraft tools, the Ultimate Craftsman tools. So that's kind of the progression, and then now we're here. I'm skipping a lot, but that's the general gist of it. So I hope that answers that question. But other than that, guys, I hope you guys enjoy this video series. First of all, if you did, drop a like. And if you guys want your question to be featured in next week's video series, because I plan to do this weekly, maybe bi-weekly, I'm not too sure. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Two things, drop your questions in the comments down below. And do you guys enjoy this? Do you guys want me to keep doing this? Let me know. Do you guys want one a week, one every other week, one a month? Let me know all these things in your comment down below. Just try to do one comment, answer all those questions, and ask me a question. That would be fantastic. Other than that, I will see you guys in another video. Peace out.